Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up.
Hello. Do not move. Don't move a muscle. Don't change a setting. We are live. Welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay. I am your host. Welcome to today's live stream. I decided we would just go for it. Tonight. We are going to be going over Bryan Kohberger Research Study 101. Everybody get comfortable. We're talking facts here tonight, guys. We're talking facts. We just heard some facts from Carly Russell's attorney. And the facts are, she admitted she lied her ass off, but I think she's still lying. I think she had some help, and she's trying to protect that person. But tonight, Marie Arnold, thank you for being a Roberta for 4 months. I still say Roberta. Hey, Carrie, what's up? Diana, Crime and Crochet, welcome back. Marie Arnold, wonderful to see you again. Get your Cheez-Its out, because we're going to be going over the crime research study of Bryan Kohberger. This came from himself. This came from Bryan Kohberger himself. Winter Carnival, welcome to the lounge. And don't forget that you guys have your members only emojis. And we've got some new ones in there. And we are working our way up to 100K. We are almost to 90. That's our first goal, is 90,000. And our next goal is 100K. So if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Not only does it help me grow the community and grow into the YouTube algorithm and whatever you want to call it, but it also gives you notifications, and it's supposed to anyways, when we go live and publish videos. So thank you. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. We have Bryan Kohberger's crime research study that he put on Reddit himself in the convicts section of Reddit, or ex-cons. Sorry, ex-cons. Yes, he did.
Bryan Kohberger.
Hi, Brittany. Hey, Britt. Shit is bananas. Awesome. All right, guys. We're going to read through this as if we are the ex-con on Reddit, a.k.a. Bryan Kohberger. Now, we're going to read this as if we're Bryan Kohberger. And we are Bryan Kohberger, so get your hats on. Let me see your tinfoil hats in the chat. Leslie, I saw that you're talking about something that we're not talking about. I can't prove or disprove that at this moment. I'll have to look at that later. Yeah, just before we get into this, we've been checking all afternoon, And there is no alibi that has been filed as of yet. Will they wait till the last minute to file something? Probably. But we're going to put on our tinfoil hats and we are going to be Bryan Kohberger for an hour. And we're going to walk through this research study survey. And we're going to look at some of these things because it's him. It's his wording. It's all right, Leslie. All right. Please note that the following survey asks you to detail your most recent criminal offense. And I want you guys to be interactive in the chat. Okay, this is for you guys to answer as well. Okay, so every time we do a question, you guys are going to answer it, and so am I, of what you think. Now, think you're Bryan Kohberger committing the Idaho 4 based on what we know. Okay, thank you, Lisa. You rock too. Alrighty, so here we go. Please note, the following survey asks you to detail your most recent criminal offense, which would be the Idaho 4, whether you were caught or not. In the event that you were not charged, convicted, or incarcerated for the offense, you may still participate in this research. Yes, written by Kohberger's own hands. Written by his own hands. Welcome to the research study. We are interested in understanding how emotions and psychological traits influence the decision making involved in committing a crime. Kohberger's hands. After completing a series of background questions, you will be presented with open-ended questions relevant to the most recent crime you were involved in and asked to detail your thoughts, emotions, and actions from the beginning to end of the crime commission process. In order to best understand your unique psychological traits, surveys will be included after the open-ended section. Please be assured that your response will be kept completely confidential. Don't fret. This survey will only take you around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Your participation in this research is voluntary. You have the right to withdraw at any point during the study for any reason and without any prejudice. If you have any questions about this research, you may contact the research team via email. Bryan Kohberger, student investigator at BK5781 at DeSales.edu. Jeffrey Clutter, co-principal investigator, Jeffrey.Clutter at DeSales.edu. And Michelle Bolger, principal investigator at Michelle.Bolger at DeSales.edu. By clicking the button below, you acknowledge that your participation in the study is voluntary and you are 18 years of age, and you are aware that you may choose to terminate your participation in the study at any time and for any reason. Please note that this survey will be best displayed on a laptop or a desktop computer. Some features may be less compatible for use on a mobile device. I consent. Begin the study. All right, so number one is, what is your age? So if we're Bryan Kohberger, right? How old is he? 28? I'm 20. Wait. Mother Pucker. We need some black ink. Oh, son of a bitch. Anyways, 28. What is your gender? Male. What sex were you assigned at birth? Male. Are you Spanish, Hispanic, or Latino? No. Choose one or more races. White. What is the highest level of education? Graduate or professional degree. Have you ever been incarcerated? No. What age were you when you committed your most recent crime? So 28. However old he is, right? 27. 28 now. 27 club. All right. The next one. What category best represents your most recent crime? property offense, violent offense, drug offense, other. Excuse me. I would say his falls under the violent offense category. Were you convicted of your most recent crime? No, not yet. Did you commit the crime alone? Yes? No. If not, how many people were involved? There you go. You guys answer for Bryan Kohberger. Did you commit the crime alone? Yes or no? At the time of the crime, please indicate the following. Were you employed? Well, I guess technically he was still employed, right? Wasn't he still technically, was he technically fired? Do we even know the date? Do we even know the date that he was technically fired? I don't think we do. But we believe that he was let go before he left to go back home, right? Did you commit the crime alone? I see Cheryl Graham says no. Everybody else is saying yes. December 27th. So I think he knew. I think he knew when he left that he wasn't going to be working there anymore. Okay, so we can all agree it was before he left with his dad. So technically, he was employed when he committed the crime. You haven't missed much, D Love of God. If you're just joining, we're just at the very beginning. So at the time of the crime, he was employed still, as far as we know. He might have been on that action plan, though. Because remember, they put him on an action plan. Were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Say hello to Eagle 8 flying over too. Well, he knew that he was on the action plan, and also those girls had the Bryan tallies going on, right? The Bryan tallies, they had already been creeped out by him. He was keeping these weird office hours. He was doing awkward things, shutting the door, keeping himself between the person and the door, just making people feel uncomfortable. So he already had an action plan, and he had only been working there, what, a month? I mean, who gets a job as a TA and then within a month you're already on an improvement plan? I mean, there's a reason why his old boss, and we're going to go over this in the red flag edition of Kohberger coming up soon. We're going to do Kohberger red flag edition. His boss, it's a myth that he couldn't handle cutting the fish. That's bullshit. That's bullshit story. The truth of the fish cutting job is that he was told not to interact with customers. And we're going to get into our red flag episode. He didn't have a problem filleting those fish. That's bullshit. I don't know who put that story out there, but it was obviously put out for Kohberger's goodness. It's not true. He wants you to think that, oh, he couldn't have done this because he couldn't even slice fish. Well, his boss says different. That's all he could do. We'll talk about that more. All right. Back to our questions. Were you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? We don't know. Possible, right? It's thundering out. It's possible he could have relapsed. Oh, Mike Sander coming in hot with some confirmation. BK's termination letter was dated December 19th. Thank you. Thank you. What's up, Ken? No, we just started. I'm glad that you caught us. Bella's down here by my feet. She's scared because it's thundering. All right. So were you experiencing issues with your family? Who thinks that he was experiencing issues with his family? Yay or nay? I think it's possible. I think it's possible that he experienced issues with his family throughout his whole life. Right. But don't you remember there was a story going around, you guys, about the fish that said he couldn't do it, that he quit. Were you affiliated with a gang? No, I don't think he was. Was this your first offense? No, I don't think it was his first offense. Do you guys think it was a first offense? I see you guys, a lot of you think that he was having problems with his family. Stay safe, Jessica. I know it storms every day here. You get kind of accustomed to it, but the lightning is scary. I don't think it was his first offense. Okay. And then did you struggle or fight with the victim? I would say yes to that. Now, here are some open-ended questions. The following open-ended questions provide you with a chance to anonymously detail your experience committing your most recent criminal offense. Any important actions, emotions, or thoughts should be thoroughly detailed. Hello, Heather. Welcome, welcome. She's stopping in. Hope everything's well. Hope you're doing okay. Oh, wow, Regina, that's far. Loaded Hot says first murder, but not first law broken. D Love says the same thing. I don't think it was his first. Isn't that crazy? Why do I think he's done this before? You guys might be right, though, because I think Buddy the dog could have been practice. Miss you too, Heather. Scorpio. I know. I'm with you, Winter Carnival. He has so many different... Yeah, don't let him fool you, though. Don't let him fool you, because he's trying to look like that innocent little nerd right now. I know, right? That is a long ways, though. I didn't realize that it would be that far from Utah. Why does Streamlabs just say live stream? Like, what is that all about, Streamlabs? That must be a glitch. Gosh, I have a tickle in my throat. All right. Bear with me. Did you struggle or fight with the victim? Yes. We know that there was a fight. Now the open-ended questions. How was your life right before the crime occurred? So I would say Bryan Kohberger's life was, if we broke it down, in turmoil. He wasn't fitting in yet again. He was already failing at the TA position. He wasn't liked. He wasn't making friends. I don't know. I would say that his life right before the crime occurred was pretty much in turmoil, maybe falling apart. Number 14. Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling. Falling apart, total crap, hectic. Agree. I think we all have the same. We're getting the same vibe from that. Okay, so then the next one. Did you prepare before leaving your home? Absolutely. 150%. I think that he would say, I prepared like no one's ever prepared before. So if we think about this in like a control aspect, like people who, have eating disorders, it's sometimes a control thing. Like they don't have control of anything else in their life. They can control that. So maybe he felt that he had planned this murder so well that he had total control over the outcome because he felt like he had total control over the planning. And silly him for thinking that this is committing crimes are all about facts and go in certain ways. They don't. Because you may have control over what you do and how you prepare, but once you're in a home with 3, 4, 5, 6 others, you have no idea. So like he failed at that too. Like I think he always jumps into these things, and God forbid, I understand. I think that why Steve G got kind of soft after the initial hearing. I think he may have found out some of this stuff because you saw Steve G, and a lot of it's emotions and grief and stages, but you saw Steve G go from angry as hell to, oh my God, I felt sorry for the kid. It's almost like, because Steve G's a good dad, right? Steve G's got good instincts, you can tell. And when I heard that, I was like, good God, how can he even say that? But the more that I find out about this pathetic son of a bitch, you almost get that like sickness in the pit of your stomach where you're like, oh my God, this is like kind of like making fun of the kid that is being pushed around on the schoolyard. But then you can't forget the heinous thing he did. And I think this is what the defense is going to use because he's so pathetic that they're going to try to use sympathy. Though the defense team is going to want jurors that feel sorry for Bryan. This jury selection is going to be out of this world. And I'll tell you why I think it's going to get crazy too, is because of mental health. There's such a big stance for mental health these days that people are going to feel sorry for him. And I have to say that it's a little worrisome if there wasn't a gag order, what might be put out there by people that are on his side. It scares me to think he could garner sympathy because I've seen this from the beginning. And as much as I despise this kid, I'm a mother. And we all know what it's like to hear or to have a kid that is being picked on, that's being bullied, that kids are ganging up on. And as moms, we have a soft spot for that. And I certainly have a soft spot for people that are, the underdog. But it's no excuse, absolutely. But I think that there's people out there like the ones that write with both hands and write him letters. Those types of people can look past it and feel sorry. And I really do hope that there is some kind of a deal making going on, because I would like to see him spared the death penalty and take a life. I think they call it like I can't remember what they call it in Idaho, but it's like a set life sentence or something. They don't call it life without parole, but same thing. Because I'm worried that his defense team and him are going to portray Kaylee and Maddie as something they weren't, or portray them in a bad light, and then garner maybe sympathy for Bryan. You know what I mean? You can play on people's emotions pretty easily, especially in this day and age where mental health is something we're trying to bring more attention to. We're trying to not victimize people who are suffering from mental health issues. And what a perfect defense. His defense has his entire childhood. It's fucked up. He's never been able to do anything good. He's bullied. He didn't even go to class in his senior year. He couldn't make it in the Army. He obviously couldn't make it in HVAC. He did good at criminology to a certain level. So it's scary. Think about the people that we talk to or ask, hey, are you following this case in Idaho? The 4 college students, and you have someone say, what? What case? They'll be able to find a jury. I believe that they will. And I'm not saying everybody's going to feel sorry for them, but they will. If I even have one little inkling of sympathy, imagine what people who empathize with people like him will feel. Not yet. There has been no alibi filed yet. Let's check that website before we move on with our next question. I'm just saying that could be a defense. That could be a defense they use. I can't with all these motions either. It's getting insane. Nope. The last thing filed was on the 17th. Nada. He ain't got no alibi. No, I'm not saying I feel sorry for him either. I'm just saying that there are people that they could. I don't see a motion for more time, but who knows? It might be filed tomorrow. Patrick, did you see the article where it says he claims law enforcement planted the sheath? He's going to put all that kind of bullshit. He wants all that kind of bullshit out there because he wants the jury, the potential jury pool, to hear it. So if he thinks if he can cast doubt, okay, hear me out. If he can cast doubt and make people feel sorry for him, it's a win-win. And the sad thing is, it could work. You just never know. Look at Casey Anthony's. Hilarious. Yes. It's due today, but it's only like 4:30 out there. Or 3:30. Hey, Robin. Hey, Detra Ed. I don't think Idaho allows mental health as a defense. He may not use it as a defense, but he may use it as a way to play on emotions. That's what I meant to say, I guess. Not that he would get a mental health defense, because I don't think he wants to even go that route, but that he would use, just the struggles, the trauma. You could still have trauma of your childhood and growing up without having a diagnosed mental illness, right? PTSD would be diagnosed mental illness. And I have no idea I want to know what Kohberger's life is from the minute he popped out with that big snout until 8th grade. Because I've heard not one motherfucking story. I've never heard that his dad took him to Little League or soccer or piano lessons when he was in elementary school. What was he doing in elementary school? Was he even living with them? Where the fuck was Bryan Kohberger from the minute his beak came out until 8th grade? Because in 8th grade, he started creeping out the little blonde girl at school and leaving notes on her locker. And she was like, the fuck? Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. And he wouldn't. I mean, we can't forget all these things. Where was he from birth to 8th grade when he started harassing the little blonde? Blondes are his thing. He was in a freaking bunker. I'm telling you, something's up with that Kohberger boy. There is something up with that Kohberger boy.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Oh, eating. Andy. Thank you. You're right. He was eating his feelings as a kid. So he was a fat little kid sitting around, not socializing because he couldn't. Do you guys think this is in his DNA? Oh my God, Angie B. Do you guys think this was in his DNA? And what in the hell made him start doing heroin? Was he on Adderall? Was he on opioids? Was he prescribed something? Ritalin? Was he prescribed some kind of drug as a child? Because a lot of times those antidepressants, or not Adderall, but antidepressants and some psychiatric drugs make you gain weight as well. Perhaps he was medicated until 8th grade and started getting fat when he stopped taking his meds. I don't know. Yeah, and that was a great point. I think you're right. I mean, he lost 130 pounds, guys. Potato and Mike, my hat is off to you guys today. I'm sure you guys have been stressed. I just want to say that. I just want to say.
Why are people such idiots?
Did he hurt himself in kickboxing? Hey, that's a good thought. Because, that's how it starts sometimes. It's those pills, and they might be prescribed them for an injury, and then, they get cut off. They're like, oh, well, your arm's healed. You don't need these anymore. And then they need something. It happens every day. Too many times every day. Carl, it's in his crazy eyes. A lot of teens are introduced to opioids when they get their wisdom teeth out. Andy, that's a really good point. Andy, you are very insightful. Andy, do you know Kohberger, or are you like are you a psychologist, or I don't know, you've had really good key points. It's awesome. Thank you. We heard it was high school, Pat Gordon, that he started using drugs. Like right his ending of high school is what they said. All right, let's go on to the next question. You guys are so great. I love this. I'll keep refreshing to see if we have an alibi as well. My guess is probably we aren't, but you never know with Blowburger. He might surprise us. Yeah, they give you pain pills, or they used to. They probably don't do that anymore, do they? Give pain pills for getting your teeth extracted. They don't give the opioids out like they used to, Potato. When they were a hot commodity, when Pfizer had the only formula, he did look nicer when he was chubby. Maybe that's when he wrote that rap. He said he was a gentle giant. You know what I'm saying? He said he was a gentle giant in his rap. So that would tell me he was still fat when he did that rap. Because he was a gentle giant. And he's running. So he was being teased because he was a big kid. And that was 2011. Hold on. Let me show you. Can't find it. Anyways, let's go on. I'm going to get off track. Okay. 2011, they were giving Daisy, they were giving out opioids like candy. I mean, let's call it like we see it. It's the way it was. Like MFing Skittles out there. Here is, gosh, why won't it? Oh, Bella, it's okay. I've got the big, ooh, did you guys hear that thunder? Makes me want to take a napster. Okay, let's see if we can share this picture this way. This is really interesting how his looks changed so much. So I'll keep running. I just feel all scattered today, guys. My internet was off, or on and out, on and off. Wasn't able to watch all of Taylor's Shabiznaz because I was on the phone with Spectrum. Now I can't find my screenshot of Blowburger as a fat kid, but you guys know what he looked like. Y'all remember, you can't forget that fat face. I do remember Napster. I loved Napster. It would download it in bits and pieces, and then you'd like, it wouldn't finish. You'd be like, dang it. And you'd have to start all over. Welcome back, Paper Chaser. Okay, here we are. Back to the questionnaire. I think we already figured that he did prepare, or how was his life? It was a mess. Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your home? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this point. I think that he damn sure felt like he was 100% prepared, and I think he felt very confident in what he was doing. That's how I think he felt. This is just my opinion as we run through these. How did you travel to and enter the location that the crime occurred? So I would have to say he traveled in his white Elantra, and he entered the location through the back door. Do we agree on that? How did you travel to and enter the location? After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim or target, i.e. person or object? Please detail your thoughts and feelings. After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating the victim? What would he have done prior to locating the victims? Cut the line to the Wi-Fi? Cut the Wi-Fi? Could he have cut the Wi-Fi? The TV said no signal. Do you guys remember that? No signal. After arriving, what steps did you take prior to locating? I would say maybe doing something like that. Weird. And then please detail your thoughts and feelings. It's almost like he wanted to know if his feelings were normal. Why did you choose that victim or target over others? Before making your move, how did you approach the victim or target? Making your move. How did you approach the victim or target? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before making your move, I think he had cameras. What's up, Trees? Hey, Carrie. I think he had cameras. What was the first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? Please detail any thoughts and feelings. Your goal? That's so gross to say. What was the first move you made in order to accomplish your goal? So if his goal was to murder, the first move, I don't know what that would be. How did you accomplish your goal? Please explain what you were thinking and feeling. All right, let's see what you guys think. Didn't they say Wi-Fi was messed up that night in Idaho? I believe so. Pat Gordon says he sat and watched through the back windows of the house before that night. Hence, Pat Gordon, you think outside looking? I think you're right. Ken Dalton, I'm off to bed, guys. Good night, Ken Dalton. Good night in Ireland.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
So he did this study on people who weren't convicted also. Yes. Stealthily. All right. Before leaving, is there anything else you did? Before leaving, is there anything else you did? Was he trying to see what worked and what didn't work? Hear me out. Was he trying to talk to people who got caught and didn't get caught to see what they did wrong that made them get caught? Like, okay, the criminal felt nervous before going and committing this assault. And because he felt nervous before he left, he, touched the doorknob to get out. So he wouldn't study just their failures, but also what worked. I told you this kid is twisted. He's sick. He's twisted. He's manipulative. All of the above. Detra Ed, I know it makes it even more disgusting because he planned on getting away with it. So he was like, hey, if I study their failures and what he looks at as accomplishments. These are BK's survey questions. M. Carl, I think you are right about trying to see what others did first. Yeah. Teresa, what's bizarre is any kind of expectation for actual results. Would you love he may have that in the 51 terabytes. It might be in the 51 terabytes. But man, I'm just really worried at how he's going to drag these victims or attempt to drag these victims. But they got to be careful. The defense has to be careful with dragging the victims too and making them look a certain way, portraying them in a bad light, because then that will make the defense not likable. Okay, so before leaving, is there anything else you did? I think it's possible that Bryan Kohberger fucked with the HVAC system. Pardon my language. I think he messed around with the HVAC in that house. Whether it was turning the heat way up to throw them off on the time of death. That's what BTK did, by the way. He would turn the heat all the way up so that they wouldn't be able to determine the cause of death. But see, Bryan Kohberger, it's not 1982 anymore or whatever it was. It's not BTK time because we have things called digital footprints, right? So if you kill someone that has a cell phone and they see that that person is on their cell phone at a certain time, they can assume that person was still alive, and that's how they can determine the cause of death. See, I think he fucked up. I think he had this plan, and he wanted the cops to think it happened at 3. Hence the scream, all this, that, and the other. Honestly, I think that he tried to screw up them determining cause of death or the time of death And he thought that he would have an alibi for the time frame that they would think that he would have a bigger time frame to say, hey, it couldn't have been me. Support command? I don't know what that means. Oh, I'll check it, Angie. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant. Well, he studied HVAC and he worked with his dad in HVAC. It's on his job application. So we're going to be going over that. That's another in the Kohberger red flag episode. He left the doors open, right, because he doesn't want to touch it on his way out, right? So he doesn't want to leave any DNA on the door on his way out. So he's going to leave it open. But also, since it's cold outside, if you turn the heat way up, right? Or not up. I mean, turn it down where it's going to be high. Like your heat's going to kick on and just keep kicking on. And I think he thought the cops were dumb. Yep. I think he thought the cops were dumb, Teresa. Well, Carrie H., because it's a death penalty case, they're going to give him the best defense they can give him. As they should. As they should. I would like to see him be backed in a corner so that the victims' families don't have to go through a trial and just lock him away. Throw away the key. He's 28 years old. I mean, the rest of his life in prison, he's going to be in prison longer than he'd been alive. So I really, for the victim's sake, I kind of hope that happens. I'm not one that's out for watching a firing squad or anything like that. I just feel like it would be much, much gentler on all the victims because, kids party and kids get promiscuous and they just don't need all that shit coming out in a trial. Because, it's irrelevant, but it doesn't mean that it won't come out. Nastier things have happened in trials. You just got to think about that too. And that emotional toll. From 28 years old, locked away for life. And he'd probably have to be in solitary because when do I think his first murder was? I think it's possible it was his first, given the Buddy incident. But I do think that he committed some things. I don't know. I have my thoughts about some in PA. I don't know. Not 100% sure. Something tells me there's just more to this than meets the eye. There's a reason why his parents testified in front of a grand jury in Pennsylvania. And they made a special stipulation of sharing the grand jury results in Pennsylvania with Idaho. And that's not done very often. Grand juries are not shared with other states very often. So what were they testifying about in PA that needs to be shared with the Idaho? Why isn't Idaho interviewing his parents if that's all they needed? A grand jury is deciding on charges for somebody. And Bryan Kohberger's parents went to testify in front of them. I don't know. Isn't that weird? You don't just get called in front of a grand jury just because. And then the results of that grand jury shared with the Idaho thing. Definitely think he's done some stuff in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Detra Ed, I think you're right. I think when we see the big picture of who this guy is and where he comes from and what he's done his whole life, I think we're going to be shocked to hear about in 28 years what he's become. 27 years old and you're a quadruple murderer. There's just, mm-mm.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Kaylee says, if you go back to the beginning and think of all the twists and turns of this case, it really is unbelievable and so sad for the victims and families. It's awful. It's awful. Brittany Thiel, for the grand jury, didn't PA have to have something linking him to that? I mean, maybe they could have had, because at the time that this woman was murdered, he would have been, like, Bryan would have been living with them. So maybe he had an alibi for where he was the night that Smithers was went missing. Maybe he had an alibi and they wanted his parents to testify to that, to rule him out. Although I don't know if they do that to rule him out. I think that he planned a lot that was on the internet, you guys. I think a lot of the shit is fake. I agree with you, Pat. And D, I think back when he wrote about visual snow, and we know that he knows how to fake stuff, and he's very good with technology and digital stuff. He could have faked the dates on those posts. Like I said, this guy planned this, not overnight. I don't think he planned this overnight at all. And his parents are not going to be called in front of a grand jury for something benign. They might be waiting until this trial's over to charge him with something. It's just weird. They're sharing grand jury results between the states. Definitely something going on. And I think Dana Smithers actually had a daughter or a daughter-in-law that was his age. Did he fancy Dana Smithers' daughter or daughter-in-law? Was he maybe stalking her daughter-in-law and she got in the way? Jenny W. got her mug. Yay. I hope you like it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Dana Smithers had a son and a daughter-in-law. How do we know that Bryan Kohberger didn't like the daughter-in-law and something happened? Sorry, guys. I need another Coke Zero. Loving you, headphones. Thinking of a master plan. Headphones got it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's get back to... This is bringing up some really good discussion, though, you guys. Okay, after committing the crime... Or wait, how did you leave the scene? I think he parked his car somewhere and left on foot. After committing the crime, what were you thinking and feeling? What were you thinking and feeling? I wonder when he realized that the knife sheath was left. Or was rejected by the daughter-in-law. Ooh. Hold on a sec, guys. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. Here we go. This is for you, Punani. Shut the door. She's okay. She wants to be on doggy cam. What if one of those IDs loaded hot is affiliated with Dana Smithers? What if one of those IDs found in the Kohberger house is related to Dana Smithers? Misbehaving says he was thinking, dang, I didn't want to hurt that many people. You guys want to see Summer came to say hi now. Looking out her window. It's nice and crisp, and Ice cold. See that? Ooh. Yeah, that would be some shit, though, wouldn't it? There's just got to be something. There's got to be a reason that his parents were called before the grand jury. All right, let's go to the next one. So here, these are feelings. Here we go. Feelings. Like the... Oh, that's memories. I know Mike Sater. She's so spoiled. That's actually a big body pillow that she has. All right, here's Diana HB. He has pants undone. His visit was sexual in nature. Kaylee interrupted. He attacked. Sheath fell off. Oh, wow. Diana. Oh, my God. So, Diana, you just... So, maybe the girls went to bed in their prospective rooms, and then Kaylee was awoken by Maddie being attacked. J. Lord, I think they did that to calm the masses. I don't think the leak of the grand jury was supposed to get out there. And I think when it did, they did some backpedaling and said, oh, whoops, nope, psych. But nope, there's still Keith, whatever his name is from Dateline's talking about it. Nancy Grace is talking about it. I know Diana just kind of blew my mind too, Kaylee. Is that what you're talking about? I'm still sitting here like, that takes a whole new like thought of how this crime went down. So do we think that the girls went in their prospective bedrooms and he had his eye on Kaylee or on Maddie? No, Jet said, I don't think it's a rape gone bad. I think that maybe it started out to be that way. I don't think he planned on raping and leaving. I think that he wanted to hurt her in many ways because she was the blonde he couldn't get. Kaylee or Maddie represented all the blondes that he could never get. And then he wants to put this shit out there about the cops planting the sheath because he hates cops. You know why? Because he couldn't be one. He couldn't be one. All this is rejection, rejection, rejection. We need to make a Schoolhouse Rock about Bryan Kohberger. Rejection, junction. Whatever. What's your function? And then Kaylee came to Maddie's aid. No, J. Lord, I totally think that that's just bullshit. I think they're just trying to backpedal for sure. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. Because that's what it certainly sounds like to me, too. If Kaylee's wounds were worse, it's because she caught him and she took his anger out on Kaylee. Yeah, we can discuss for sure. Yeah, he's got a big malfunction. Yep, and his defense says, well, why not? Let's cloud things for the jewelry pool. Put doubt. Yep. I think he wanted to do brutal things to Maddie. Kaylee heard Maddie and ran into Maddie's room. I think you want to hear something sick? I think that he had cameras in there, and I think he taped the whole thing, and I think he watched it afterwards. I think he went home and watched it. Oh, Joseph Rapp. No. And I'm not Justice for. I don't know what that means. Have I met him? No, and I would never want to. I would never want to. I have a question for you, Joseph Rapp. Would you want to hold these hands? I want to hold your hand. I can't sing. The girl with the pink boots. I think there's cameras in there. And I think that photo on Reddit of Kaylee going down the hallway, I think that was her going into Maddie's room. And I think that he had that screenshot. And I think he leaked it because he's a sick motherfucker. And the name on the the name on the photo was step1.jpg. The name of the picture of Kaylee that looks like it's from like a security camera in the hallway. We see her. She's in a tank top, like the black cami. And she's like from behind. And it was named step1.jpg. Step 1. What did we just go through? Cameras in the vents. That's exactly what I thought. Haven't seen it. I can't find it offhand, but I'll make a note to get it ready for when we do the red flag. I'll show it to you. I have so many photos, thousands. One night I want to just go through them. Where's my freaking pen? Heathen, I need more pens. Ah, all right, let me see. I can't believe you guys haven't seen that. We showed that a long time ago. Okay. Oh, hold on. I think I found it. Mm. No, I don't see it. We'll go over that. You know what? Here's Inside Looking. Check this out. Inside Looking posted this on Reddit. I can't find that picture of Kaylee offhand. I don't know if it's in our Slack shell. Hold on. Summer's going crazy on doggy cam. What are you doing? She's going to entertain you guys. Look at this. This is the person Inside Looking. Oh, they totally thought that if the four of them were together. And I think that I'm looking for the picture of Kaylee that looks like it was taken with the security camera. It's black and white. Yes, and the Red Flag Live will definitely go over that. So check this out. This is Inside Looking. This was all posted before Bryan Kohberger's arrest. We didn't know who Bryan Kohberger was, and I've got lots of inside and outside looking posts, but some of them are going to be done in Patreon just because of the sensitive nature. But the ones that are sensitive, we'll go over in Patreon. I'm not going to put those out publicly. No photos or anything, just the wording. You know, it's gruesome and it's disrespectful to the victim. So we're not going to go over those ones that are graphic because he does explain. But look at this. He puts speculation. Killer parked behind the house, approached property through tree line, entered sliding door and left it open. Committed murders and exited sliding door. So according to Inside Looking, he opened the door, the back door, left it open, did everything, and then left it, and it was still open, so he didn't have to touch it going out. One knife, according to coroner's statement. Time of murder, approximately 3:20 a.m. to 3:40 a.m., according to car fleeing scene and on camera on Highway 8, approximately 3:45 a.m. He couldn't have possibly known all this. And Detra Ed, I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that this all was said before any of those photos came out. We didn't know about the car fleeing the scene. We didn't know that the car would be on Highway 8. We didn't know any of this. Jet Set. It has been proven that Kaylee still had her bed there even though she had moved out. Yes, we see Kaylee's bed through the sliding glass door upstairs. But no one could have known about those cameras or a car fleeing the scene. It could have been a neighbor that was on foot. Teresa, welcome to Patreon, honey. I just got the notification. Thank you for joining. Look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. We do a live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me get that alert box up to the top. Okay. Oh no, I'm picking up what you're laying down, Detra. Totally. But there's so many like this. There's so many more. I mean, this is one of many. There's Papa Rogers, there's Inside Looking, there's Outside Looking. Oh, here's another one. This is a different name. Tell me if you think this one's him. I can't wait to go through all these with you. I have so much, you guys. Slight Satisfaction 93 says here, on 11/26/2022, suspect I believe did this has the initials BK. How? I think so too. Loaded Hot says, I think we're going to find out during the trial that BK was online manipulating the case. Yep. But I think he thought Detra Ed said, it would be nuts if it was him though, but it would also be foolish because cops can trace online activity. I think that BK thought these cops were podunk, small town dumbasses. That's why he wanted to work for Pullman. Punani says, what?
What?
It's okay, Lucia. I understand. I just can't put it out publicly. It's gross, and I won't discuss it publicly. You can look them up, though. Look up Inside Looking's posts. You can find them in Google Images. I just don't want to, put nasty stuff out there and discuss it. I don't feel right doing it. Because I know that Kaylee's family is on YouTube, and you can definitely find them, though. They're there. I just checked. All right, let's get back to our survey, shall we? This is all super interesting. I know, Poonani. I love doing it, too. I love, love, love it. Love, love, love it. Yeah, he thought that they were dumbasses. I agree, CR. CR Decoder says he spoke of helping Pullman PD come up to speed on high tech. So he thought they would be too stupid to track him. Yeah, I mean, I think we can still discuss true crime and discuss, things that the killer might have done without disrespecting the victims. And that's why I just choose to do those things in private. We can talk about the case. I just don't want to talk about the, gory things that may not even be him. It's really, it's just disrespectful. Okay. Here are the feelings. What follows are surveys that are important to understanding your unique traits. Number 24. Over the past 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge? Not being able to stop or control worrying? Worrying too much about different things, trouble relaxing, being so restless that it's hard to sit still, becoming easily annoyed or irritable, feeling afraid if something awful might happen. And then he wants you to say not at all, several days, more than half, or nearly every day for all of these. And then over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Little interest or pleasure in doing things, feeling down, depressed, or hopeless, trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much, feeling tired or having little energy, poor appetite or overeating, feeling bad about yourself, that you are a failure or have let yourself or your family down, trouble concentrating on things such as reading the newspaper or watching television, moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so fidgety or restless that you have to move around a lot more than usual. Thoughts that you would be better off dead or of hurting yourself. In this questionnaire, you will read about 5 situations that people could encounter in day-to-day life, followed by reactions to those situations. As you read each scenario, try to imagine yourself in that situation, then indicate the likelihood that you would react in the way described. Please answer as accurately as possible. After realizing that you have received too much change at a store, you decide to keep it because the sales clerk doesn't notice. What is the likelihood that you would feel uncomfortable about keeping the money? I wonder how uncomfortable Bryan Kohberger would be about keeping the money. I give him a 1, so I give him 1. You secretly commit a felony. Secretly? What is the likelihood that you would feel remorse about breaking the law? At a coworker's housewarming party, you spill red wine on their new cream-colored carpet. You cover the stain with a chair so no one notices your mess. What is the likelihood that you would feel that the way you acted was pathetic? I think these are his actual questions he made up. I've never I've been to psychiatrists and I've never been asked, what is the likelihood that you would feel the way you acted was pathetic? Mm-mm. If this was a project, he was probably asked to put something of his own in there to see what he's learned. I mean, you got to remember, this was a school project. You lie to people, but they never find out about it. What is the likelihood you would feel terrible about the lies you told? Out of frustration, you break the photocopier at work. No one is around and you leave without telling anyone. What is the likelihood that you would feel bad about the way you acted? I think some of these are standard, but I feel like some of these he may have personalized. Like these seem like they're pretty standard. 27. Please indicate how much each statement reflects how you typically feel. When someone else is excited, I tend to get excited too. Other people's misfortunes do not disturb me a great deal. It upsets me to see someone being treated disrespectfully. I remain unaffected when someone close to me is happy. Well, someone mentioned earlier, he said he felt like a big sack of meat and felt nothing. I enjoy making other people feel better. I have tender, concerned feelings for people less fortunate than me. When a friend starts to talk about his or her problems, I try to steer the conversation towards something else. I can tell when others are sad, even when they do not say anything. I find that I am in tune with other people's moods. I do not feel sympathy for someone who causes their own serious illness. I become irritated when someone cries. I'm not really interested in how other people feel. I get a strong urge to help when I see someone who is upset. When I see someone treated unfairly, I do not feel much pity for them. I find it silly for people to cry out of happiness. When I see someone taken advantage of, I feel kind of protective towards him or her. And then how I generally feel. I am quick-tempered. I have a fiery temper. I am a hot-headed person. I get angry when I am slowed down by others' mistakes. I feel annoyed when I am not given recognition for good work. I fly off the handle. When I get mad, I say nasty things. It makes me furious when I am criticized in front of others. When I get frustrated, I feel like hitting someone. I feel infuriated when I do a good job and get a poor evaluation. I am good at resisting temptation. I have a hard time breaking bad habits. I am lazy. I say inappropriate things. I do certain things that are bad for me if they are fun. I refuse things that are bad for me. I wish I had more self-discipline. People would say I have iron self-discipline. Pleasure and fun sometimes keep me from getting work done. I have trouble concentrating. I am able to work effectively towards long-term goals. Sometimes I can't stop myself from doing something, even if I know it's wrong. I often act without thinking through all the alternatives. And that is the end of the survey. Isn't that weird? Miss K says he's profiling himself as questions to find people alike. To what gauge they're, like whether they got caught or whether they didn't. I just think this rings like a lot of things that maybe he was thinking and feeling before, during, and after. I can put the PDF in our Facebook group. Are you in our Facebook group? You guys can read through this. He has a 4-year in psychology and a 2 years in criminology. Yes. Yeah, I don't believe his mother was on Reddit. I don't believe that. And I'll tell you why. I think that, and if you Google Bryan Kohberger survey, you'll find it on Google. I'll tell you why I don't think she was on Reddit. Okay, Reddit is kind of like, I'm almost 50 and I'm really not on Reddit. It's kind of looked at by older people as like a 4chan. Number one. Number two, the lady doesn't even have Facebook. Okay. She has zero digital footprint. Why would we believe that she's over posting on Reddit about her kid? I don't even think, if someone doesn't have Facebook, why would they be posting on Reddit? There you go. Socials. It should pull up the Facebook group. That's a Facebook page. You can get to the Facebook group from the page, but I'll give you the direct link to the group so you guys can join. And when I end this, but if she was going to be anonymous, how would anybody know who she was? You know what I mean? If she was going to be anonymous, I don't think we'd know who she was. Well, I'm not 50 yet, Karen. I am not 50 yet, Karen.
You're being a Karen.
Yeah, I don't think she's on Reddit if she's not on Facebook. I would think she'd be on Facebook before anything. But here's a picture of Bryan with a friend from quote unquote high school. And I'm thinking this was when he was with the friends that Casey Farts said were not the good friends. See, and I don't think his mom had anything in the paper either. I think that was him. See, this is what he wants everyone to believe because he knows how super sleuthers are. He knows that they're going to suck up any detail they can get about this crime and believe it. And if you believe that his mother, feels so sorry for Marianne because she posted about the death penalty, I don't believe it. I don't know. We've never seen a picture of his mom. For all we know, his mom could be that weird profiler lady, Kathleen Ramsland. What if that was his mother? What if she was really his mom? I mean, why does that lady teach in freaking DeSales, like right by his house? I think that's weird. I just don't think that Marianne Kohberger is writing about the death penalty. I mean, she was a high school parapro teacher's assistant. I don't think she was posting all over social media with her political opinions. What if Kathleen Ramsland was really his mom, though? I mean, like, she had her whole face covered. Are you guys subscribed? If you're not, please do. I don't think that she's posting on social media. The lady has zero digital footprint. She doesn't even show her damn face. You can't even see what she looks like going into. Shell, can you get the Facebook group link in chat? You can't even see what she looks like walking into court. I've never seen anyone cover their entire face with a hood and a mask and go to court, and we still haven't seen her. She's been to a grand jury, but they show the dad. Dad's out there. Dad's showing his face. Like, what's up with that? Why is dad out there and mom's not? Is it because it's Kathleen Ramsey? Oh, shit.
You're being a Karen.
Given the fallout from...
Given the fallout. Given the fallout.
Oh, I don't feel old, combat vet, but I'm just saying, like, 4chan to me is like something, ooh, you know. Thank you, LA. Oh, there it is. I see it. Thank you, Shell. Isn't it weird, though, that dad's out there front and center? What if, I still, and I hate saying this, I still got a weird vibe on dad. Why is that? There's just something I can't shake. There's just something I can't shake about Michael.
What?
And then you have one sister at court, one sister's not at court. I think there's just a lot of family ties in that family. So if cats had thumbs, I think that she was a parapro, which means like a teacher's aide. Oh, HVAC. Does BK's mom have OF? What's that mean? What's OF? His dad probably said, the hell with it. They got me on the police body cam. No, Andy, you see. And Ann, I trust your judgment because you've had really good insight. Am I off base? I don't know why. I just have... I don't know. Ooh, Marie Z. Winkler says, I think the sister is the informant to Dateline. Interesting. Cats had thumbs. I'm with you. Isn't it wild? Okay, so the media found out that they were in front of a grand jury and no one got pictures. Karen, you look great too. No one got pictures of them going into the court. Why? What if Mary Ann testified and there's some other hinky shit going on with dad in Pennsylvania? Thanks, J-Lord. I just think there's a lot of shit going on in that family. Like, not good. Like, I don't feel like they're all on the same page. I just don't get that. I don't get that feeling. My dogs deserted me tonight too. Mike C. We usually see pictures of families though, right? Especially in a huge case like this. Like, when is the media ever respectful? We've never seen BK's family out and about. We've got the surviving roommates out and about, but we've never seen them other than going to court and the body cam. You think dad lived vicariously through BK? Yikes. Why did the dad go to Washington? Well, I heard that he bought a round trip when BK went out there, that the plan was for him to fly out there. But why, I don't know. Probably because Bryan was a big pussy and didn't want to get on a plane or something. I just have a feeling this kid was a pain in the ass. Mystic Firefly. Thomas Arntz, which is Casey Fart's brother, a former high school friend of Kohberger's, told the Daily Beast that Bryan Kohberger's mother was a substitute teacher and his father worked in maintenance, calling them genuinely kind people. Exactly. Punati says, dude, the media wants to get a pic of everyone with a wedgie and a booger in their nose, but no pictures of Kohberger's mom. There's a picture of them getting out of a black car at the grand jury. No, I think that's when they went to Kohberger's arraignment. We didn't get any pictures of the grand jury because they backpedaled and said it didn't happen after it was leaked. After it was leaked, they were like, what? No, that's not true. Melissa French, no. BK scared of flying. Remember his flight back to Idaho? No. What happened on his flight? Oh, the way they stopped and then took off again? You think they were probably trying to get him to talk on that route too, making him really uncomfortable. They did not knock on the door. No, they busted through. Potato says, I'll believe all day long Bryan was a pussy and didn't want to drive by himself. He can't drive highways without being up the butt of a truck. Bryan didn't fly, so dad was driving back with him. I think he is just a dad that loved his kid. Don't they live in a gated community? It's harder to get photos of them. Yeah, but don't they leave? I mean, for fuck's sake, people camped out in the laundry's neighbors' yards for months. Those people couldn't even go to the post office without getting a picture. Oh, let's check that. Let's check the website and see if we've got a filing. Oh, that would be a big, fat no.
I heard Eduardo with like a G.
Bryan Kohberger's an Eduardo. He's got no alibi. So no alibi has been filed, KK. A female reporter described both sisters in court. One was comforting the mom. I think just one sister was there. Hey, baby D. I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I just don't know why they would go in front of a grand jury and then it be shared with Idaho. Like, that is perplexing.
You know what I have to say to Ann C. Taylor, the defense lawyer? Bring it on, woman.
But according to their statement, they said that they were sticking by him through, that they believe in his innocence. Five Pacific. So he's got, what, 25 more minutes? Yeah, I don't think that was his sister. That was part of the investigation team. Oh, I know, Los Angeles. I would love to be at their dinner table. It's probably like the Munsters. Vince. Yeah, Shannon says vicariously through Bryan, he was an incel. Well, at least his dad, had a wife and we don't know what his dad's personality is like. And what's with Bryan's note to dad and letter to Bryan from Montana? What is that? I'm not doubting that his mom was super sweet. I don't know anything about his mom. Let's see. Checking email, guys. Checking email before we end. PK's mom. Oh, that's not his mom. Oh my God, that's Tyler Feller's. That's a Tyler Feller thumbnail. That's not his mom. That was a specialist from the FBI or some shit. He put that on his thumbnail and said BK's mom speaks. Oh my God.
I think you've got a Ouija board down your pants. You're going to pull that out. Ain't nobody got time for that.
That isn't his mom. She was on like News Nation or something, and she was like a expert. Good night, Angie B. Who's Montana? The state, right? Maybe he mailed it from Montana vicariously through an incel. Do you think he drove through Montana on his way out to Washington? I mean, he had to get the car to Washington. How do we know he didn't go through Montana? Thank you, Shannon.
Or is it a cigar?
How do we know he didn't drive through Montana on the way to WSU? Yeah, I think he wrote the rap song when he was fat. That's why he calls himself a gentle giant. I'm looking for the rap song so I can play it for you guys again. I need to get my computer organized for sure. So I keep running. Let's see if this is it. Oh, this is just a little clip. Here, listen.
Burger.
Where in September of 2011, he posted a single track, an
There you go.
angsty rap song called Rise Up.
Rise up!
Always the same thing that disrupts my life. Wonder when I'll change. I guess when the time is right, procrastinating mind arranged to change would be a fight. So I'm pacifist, like I'm afraid to get a bloody fist. Look at this, my mind is pissed, and I keep running. Why?
Eventually,
I keep
Bryan seemed to find a
running.
solution.
I keep running. Check out my other videos. I've got the full song. My son took the background, the music out. We've got just the lyrics. Nothing but the lyrics. So check it out.
You can
Oh my
understand.
God. God forbid. God
Angsty.
forbid one comment.
What did Punani say? Gentle giant with no... Because I'm just a gentle giant with no alibi, I gotta keep running. The way he says running. He's a goon. And ain't nobody setting this guy up. Like, who the hell wants to set up Bryan Kohberger? This just in. Florida, 70 pounds of cocaine worth $1.1 million found by a boater in the Florida Keys. Can't make that shit up. Guys, I can't wait to get into our red flag Bryan Kohberger live. There's so much to go over. And don't feel left out. If you're not in the Patreon, you're just not going to see the real super sensitive things. And it's not that big of a deal. The main stuff that we're going to go over will be on the main channel, and it'll be fine. But I'm going to do this for you guys. I got one more surprise. Right. There's no setup. Ain't no cop planning DNA on Bryan Kohberger.
La, la, la,
Okay.
la, la. You don't hold account.
Because of the winter storm? Why do I not believe that for some reason? Why do I think he took a weird route home because he knew what he was doing? Okay, so here you go. Here is, I think this is it.
Who you are, equal fun on people.
Oh, I slowed it down. He's going regal. Listen.
Who you are, equal fun on people. And now I'm going regal. Don't fuck with us. You learn your lesson. Next song I'm say.
Don't fuck with us. You'll learn your lesson. XR music.
Who you are, equal fun on people. And now I'm going regal.
I can't find the whole thing now. Oh, man. He does say Gentle Giant, though. That's hilarious. Jay, I know this is just an Okie. Jay, I know of ways to get rid of bloodied floods, but did BK try to use muriatic acid? That or bleach. Thank you, Andy. Diana, he had to be the unluckiest motherfucker in America to be set up, be there 12 times, casually have his DNA there, etc. Oh, and not to mention 51 terabytes of data relating to the victims in this crime. Oh, body fluid, sorry, floods. Do y'all know how hard a setup would be? Why wouldn't they just pin it on the roommates? Yeah, they're going to pick some creep burger with hands like this. No. This dude was not set up. No way. No motherfucking how. Fecal. Trying to see if I've got the whole song. I can't find it. Is this it?
Cloud account.
Okay, first bombshell. You may have heard. Oh, no. Anyways, all right. I'm going to end this. I hate to go. I love chit-chatting with you guys. Pat Gordon. I want to thank you guys. Shannon, thank you for super chatting. She said vicariously through an incel. Yeah, I don't know. I just weird feeling about this whole grand jury and Pennsylvania thing and unsolved Dana Smithers case. Jersey, thank you for subscribing. Dave Spargo, Carol A, Monkey Biz. I missed you being a member for 10 months. Thank you, Monkey Biz. And always a pleasure seeing Miss Heather Feather. And Heather Signs, thank you for subscribing. Winter Carnival became a member. Marie Arnold announced she'd been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Marie. Carol Travis subscribed. Paper Chaser super chatted. Lock Carly Russell up. So that takes us to the end of our live. I know, but we are back tomorrow. And we will talk red flags this week as well with Bryan Kohberger. So make sure you're subscribed. And click that notification bell. If it works, you'll get an update when we go live and when, the events are made. I love you guys too. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what? You guys love this community. You are this community. Without you, this wouldn't be a community. So you guys are the bomb. Thanks again. And thank you for becoming our newest Patreon, Teresa. See you guys tomorrow. Good night. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
you and your problems, I don't give a damn. You talk way too much, I have heard enough. About you and your problems, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, damn, 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 damn. You wanna be, you wanna be, you wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling different.
There's a lot of butt joints that we have to cover, and I'm like, Dudley, let's do butt joints together because I don't want to have to do them all by myself.
Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone.
You know Don's full of shit.
You guys want one Jennifer or two Jennifers?
Bye, Jennifer.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.